The moment has arrived.
I pushed the button. It's going to work.
This is going to be scary good, man.
I'm sorry?
We're killing it. It's Maddie Levine with my good friend Dave and Auken. Welcome to the Fight Bananas Show.
The ruthless one, Elle Dawson.
Hey, guys.
Our girl, Gillian, the savage Robertson.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Welcome to the Fight Bananas Show. 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Fight Bananas.
Hey. Happy Tuesday.
Look at all this. Look at all this facial hair. I'm going for it.
I was gonna say, are we trying a new look here, Dave?
We are going for it. No, I'm absolutely going to shave this weekend. It's dude, we went through a hurricane. Kids are sick at the house. I've been watching UFC Paris over and over in a loop. A couple days go by, but
you should like start curling it at the end. Give it a little French touch.
French touch.
Yeah.
I think the French is over us Americans and Brazilians. I'll tell you that right now. Brian Battle's still flicking people off.
Seriously. I love it.
He's live tomorrow, by the way. James Lynch, Fight Bananas, Brian Battle tomorrow. Live.
Love it. Love it. That's going to be a great one. Well, welcome back in. It's the Fight Bananas Show, baby. Maddie here, Dave here, as always. And we got a stacked show today. 2 hours of nonstop stuff. Game Bred Bare Knuckle, their card is looking absolutely fire. So excited for that. We have Chase Sherman today. And then one of the studs from UFC Paris will be joining us. Duncan is back on the pod. Gillian Robertson, our girl Elle. This is going to be a fun one.
I know. I can't wait. I posted it yesterday also to Miss Maddie Levine. Saturday night. Guys, it's tough out there. A lot of bills need to be paid for a lot of people. If you don't want to spend the money or illegally stream UFC 307, just come to Fight Bananas. We're going to do a live watch along. Come through, just watch. We'll react. We'll go crazy when Alex Pereira knocks someone out and just chill with us.
Let's go. I love an Alex Pereira fight week, baby. I got some fun ideas for videos, so just hang tight on that. It's going to be great.
Please. We cannot wait.
Yes.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
I'll try it one day. Just kidding. But yeah, crazy good card over the weekend and lots to look forward to. I love a good Alex Pereira fight week. Yeah. And I mean, this guy's just an absolute stud. So a little insider information here. Ready for this?
I am ready.
One of Glover Texera's students trains with us at Pride Martial Arts, my school in Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. And so I constantly pick his brain. I'm like, all right, what do you think? When do you think Pereira is going to finish? Like, what do you think he's going to, how do you think he's going to do it? Whatever. Yeah. And of course, he's team Pereira because he trains at Glover's. So he's like, oh yeah, he's going to finish him in the first round. But he said, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a takedown.
Alex?
Yes. Wow. So I'm just putting it out there. This is coming from a man who shares the mats with him.
Wow.
I'm just putting it out there.
Keep putting.
Drizzy Goat, my name is Maddie. Nice to meet you.
I was going to say, hey, wait, real quick, Maddie. Drizzy Goat, don't be an asshole, okay? Don't be disrespectful. You can have fun.
My hair looks great, so.
The hair looks amazing, by the way. We love to have fun, and we will make fun of each other more than any show probably on the network, right? But come on, don't be an asshole, Drizzy Goat. There you go.
But anyway, that's exclusive info coming straight from one of Alex's teammates. So
I like that.
Wouldn't that be wild?
It would be. It would. You ready for this one? It's a really probably clear-cut way to victory. Roundtree can win this fight if he catches Alex standing, right? If it's a war, like we all kind of think it's going to be. We think it's a first round. Dude, both guys are going to leg kick, head kick, strike, counter, hook. You're going to see the left hook of doom from Alex. If you don't want to deal with that, just take him down, and I think you can ground and pound the crap out of him like Moicano did to Benoit Saint Denis.
Dude, what a performance, huh? Insane. Holy shit. I definitely want to talk more in depth when we get our girl Gillian on and more of our UFC peeps on. But, dude, Moicano, unreal. What a stud. What an absolute stud. And then, that injury was so intense. Just don't be It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Chris, the Jets and Bills. Oh, I love it. I didn't know they were playing this weekend. I thought it was 2 weekends from now, but I love it. Dude, big Bills fan over here. Real quick, back to Moicano. And kind of this would be the first little fun question of the day. I don't know why he's been so disrespected since the win. Like, to me, am I hyperbolic on saying that was one of the best performances of the year? Total domination. He's on the road. He's fighting. He's a huge underdog. All this stuff. He was fighting injured. We all know now he's fighting injured. He came in absolutely dominated Benoit St. Denis. And it's been like no bonus, no movement up in the rankings, just not a lot of buzz. I thought he would be everywhere and anywhere right now.
Yeah.
And he just like, why is Moicano not getting the love since that victory?
I think it's because not to discredit his round number 1, which was absolutely electric. Like, he dominated from start to finish. And Elle and I talked a lot about this on the Sunday Morning Brew, how when he's in his positioning and doing the takedowns, he's not just sitting there and waiting for a submission. He's actively striking at all times. And it's just like, it's so high level stuff. He took round 2 off for sure. And I think it was to recover, because the amount of volume that man put in round 1 was crazy. And he knew that he had 5 rounds to play with. So yeah, why not take round 2 off? So I think it's the fact of he didn't finish him. He kind of took off round 2. And then if you're going to give a performance of the night to somebody, you're going to give it to Chris Duncan.
Duncan and Battle. I got one too.
And Brian Battle.
So, Maddie, great point. And I'm just going to we'll go back, just play devil's advocate a little bit. Great point, though, by you. I love that. The one thing I will say, and I said this to our dear friend Elle as well, like we talked about it afterwards, I don't think he took round 2 off. I know it might look that way or feel that way. For one, I do get what you're saying about, him maybe kind of getting his breath a little bit. I totally get that point. I think he knew, right? You look at Benoit St. Denis, he looked like Rocky Balboa. And if you watch Moicano, he was just jabbing that eye. Like, it was almost like he knew if he hit that eye 3-5 times like he did in round 2, the fight's over. So, like, why get in a, sometimes when you go into zombie mode, maybe we can ask Ross, your husband, about this. Like, when you're in this firestorm and you kind of get hit but not knocked out, you become like a zombie almost. You're like, you're big shots, and Benoit's got a big left. Why does Moicano want to do that when he can just stay on the outside, like, boom, boom?
Yeah,
of those,
I guess I shouldn't be over. I guess I shouldn't say he took it off. He played it smart. He didn't take any chances.
There you go. Thank you. I like that. Yes.
Yeah, he didn't take any chances. Like, I think he could have easily taken him down one more time and ground and pounded him, and I think the ref would have stopped it. But why take that chance when you're up so far? So I get that for sure.
I think this is up your alley right here, Maddie. What?
Please tell me you know what this means, Dave.
So I do know what this means, but I said this. This is your alley. I got 4 kids. I am all in with MMA. I love sports. I'm a Yankee fan. The Knicks got a big trade over the weekend. The Bills are rolling. Like, I'm all in. I'm not the biggest into pop culture. I'll just be really honest. Of course, I know my wife is like telling me all this stuff about it, but can you help me a little bit on this, a little bit more? Do you know some of the gossip?
I would love to help you. So basically, P. Diddy is a terrible human, and his house got raided. I forget what the whistleblow moment was, but they ended up basically raiding his house, arresting him on the spot, and now he's awaiting trial. And what they discovered when they raided his house was 1,000 bottles of baby oil and a whole bunch of other stuff. But what people continue to talk about is baby oil, because what the fuck is that about? And they started talking about these parties that he was notorious for that he called freak-offs. So basically, celebrities would go and you'd be doing some weird shit. And a lot of women were gifted to the guests, and a lot of weird stuff went down. Okay, so now he's gonna be standing trial.
I said this to Susie. So my wife talked to me about this, and I was like, this is what I kind of don't get. This is my thing. Everyone talks. Everyone in the business, MMA, sports, Hollywood. How did it go for so long? Because I saw like there's some stuff, pictures from like 2008 and 11. Yeah. We're in 2024. How did it go for so long that nothing happened. That's that's why I'm not calling, like, I don't think it's not real. I just don't, I can't put my head around it that it went for 20 years. Like, what?
So
I don't
basically
get
what
it.
happened was nobody spoke about it for a very long time. And then several women came out accusing Diddy of a lot of inappropriate misconduct. And
Okay.
when basically, if the FBI or whoever is looking into it doesn't have enough concrete evidence, you can't just arrest the guy for no reason. Yeah, that's facts. So I think they were building a case for a while, and then when they had enough evidence, now you can go and get him and take him and raid his house and all that stuff. So it took a couple women to step forward and say something, and then it was kind of like the snowball effect.
Real quick, we're on for over 2 hours, my friend, my dear friend. I love that you're in the comments. You can ask. I'm literally about to go on your Ilya versus Max question. We can talk about life for a second, guys. All right, we're live for 2 hours, probably over 2 hours. We got a show Wednesday night. We got a live show on Saturday. We all do stuff, so relax a little bit. We're talking Diddy for a second. All right, relax.
For a solid sec.
I still want to go to UFC Paris about Brian Battle. I still want to go to UFC 307, but this is a good question. We'll talk about it. Oh, what's your take on Ilya versus Max? We're still around 3 weeks away. Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, this is the best fight left of 2024. Like, I love this fight. And you ready for this one? And that's all good. You don't have to apologize for this. We're people. We like to communicate first. It doesn't have to be all in every 2 hours second of just MMA. My thing on this fight, Maddie, tell me if I'm wrong or we're supposed to have really strong takes. I don't know. Like, I gotta see it.
Yeah, this is like, so up in the air for me. This is like a pick'em. Yeah, this, like, I always say this, and I will always say it. I would never bet against Max Holloway ever. I don't care if Max Holloway has a broken foot, a bruised eye, a collar, whatever it is. I would never bet against Max Holloway. But Ilia Topuria is so talented that I think this is going to be such an awesome clash. Yeah. And it's going to be one of those fights where it's either a knockdown, drag out war, or it's finished very quickly. So,
yeah, I don't know.
I love this. That's kind of where I am, Tisser. I'm like, I can never bet against him.
I agree. Like, that's why the betting lines are so close. And it's weird. I know this. You're supposed to. I got to see it at least for a minute or a round and be like, okay, this is what I think is going to happen going forward. Chris very well said, yeah, for sure. People don't understand how impactful hurricanes can be. Not even just the first win of it, but just you could be out of power for multiple days and the water and the flood. It's really hard. So absolutely prayers for sure. For sure.
I would love to give some spotlight to our friends over at Workout Wipes for Women, Wow Wipes. They have put their basically put their hat in the game, and they're a North Carolina company, and they have decided to donate over 5,000 packs of their effective shower wipes for hurricane relief. So we love Wow Wipes. We love what they're doing. For the next 10 days, every pack that you buy, they will match with a donation. So if you or you know someone that was affected by Hurricane Helene, go to wowwipes.com, get those wipes, because they're going to turn around and donate right back. So awesome. Love them.
All right, we're good, guys. We'll see everyone next week. Very good. Thank you, Maddie. That was awesome. Like,
absolutely.
I'm telling you, people don't understand how long it takes. I have even friends that hurricanes from years and years ago. We had a bad hurricane season like 3 years ago here in Daytona Beach, Florida. It takes years for people to get back in their house. Imagine if you have kids and they're not in their own room in school. Right. It's a lot, man. I'm telling you, it's hard. It is very hard. A couple things. This is what everyone was saying about Volk. It is the same about gold. Totally agree. But you're so right. Ilya is so talented. He is.
Yeah,
and
he really is.
The thing I want to see about the fight, Maddie, what happened if Ilya, with a great ground game and kind of the grappling game, what happened if he does that to Max? Like, no one's talking about that aspect of it.
When's the last time Max got taken down?
Never.
I was going to say it's never happened, right?
There you go, dude. Sean Sterling's the man, dude. He's the best.
I mean, honestly, if Ilya just takes him down once,
It'd be a big
Like
thing.
that's a victory. That's a victory.
Yeah.
Whether or not you lose, dude, that's a freaking victory. That's so cool. And I feel like this is one of those fights where as long as both of them perform to their utmost potential,
Yeah.
neither of them lose stock because they're both just so good. You
Such
know
a
what I'm
good
saying?
point.
Like,
Yeah, such a
I
good
think
point,
as
Cody.
long as they fight to their utmost potential and they show up, the fans are going to be happy and they're still going to be elite.
So guys, we are UFC 307 week, but the UFC 308's taking over. It's fine. This is the show. This is it.
We roll.
So we know Diego Lopez is the backup. He's going to Abu Dhabi. So you would assume 9 out of 10, if you're the backup, like Bilal or like these guys that do it, Colby Covington did it. If you become the backup, you are the number one contender. You're next, right? How crazy if Ilya wins, Volk says he wants the rematch. Are they skipping Volk? If Max Holloway wins, I actually like that because it's a new, fresh matchup. I don't want to see Max versus Volk 4. Don't want it. It will be Max versus Diego Lopez next, which is awesome. Ilya doesn't get a rematch because this is his first title defense. It's crazy. Like it is so many different things. The fallout of 308 is bananas.
Yeah, so many storylines. But yes, let's stick on to 307 because we need to recap so many amazing moments. I
got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question.
I need to hear it.
This is Alex Pereira week.
Oh, my favorite.
I've never seen this. I've watched the Conor rise. I watched the George St. Pierre rise. I watched the Ronda Rousey rise. This is different just of how quick, how impactful Alex Pereira has been. If he wins on Saturday and defends his championship against Khalil Roundtree Jr., is it set in stone that Alex Pereira, because of what he did for UFC 303 and UFC 300, kind of stepping in, and that helps for sure, is he absolutely the lock fighter of 2024?
Without question. Without question. I mean,
no doubt.
What this man has done in the short span that he has been on the UFC roster, let's not forget, when was he signed? Last year? 2 years ago? What was it? It feels like it was 20 minutes ago. But
it was
he has done something so incredible where in his own right, Glory Kickboxing, he was a
UFC
star.
268.
That's when he was signed on.
Yeah, his first fight was UFC 268. That's crazy.
So that's
crazy.
Like 2 titles, main events out the ass, always shows up. And then on top of that, we're watching his personality outside of the cage grow, which is so cool to see. And he's just evolving as an all-around star. Like, it's not just, okay, Alex Pereira's on the card, it's going to be dope. People want to see his Instagram now and see what he's doing and see what he's up to. Like, this dude is huge. And in my mind, there is nobody that touches him this year if he wins. Honestly, if he wins or not. Like, who else? Maybe Diego Lopez is up there if you want to talk about fighters of the year, but it's, I don't.
Moicano's another one. 3 wins so far this
definitely
year.
Another one. Kayla Harrison, maybe just for the splash that she made. I just, there's plenty up there, but you got to give it to Poetan. I mean, the dude is insane. Right. Exactly, Chris. I totally agree.
Sean Sterling with a brilliant point. Like always, this man's an absolute stud in the comments. I actually love that. As someone has been so adamant about, we buy all of our pay-per-views. We will be watching it. I got a room right out here. We'll be watching the pay-per-view 307. This is my thing. I know maybe I know it's called prelims for a reason. I know they're trying to sell the pay-per-view sometimes to the casual fan. My thing is, if it's a pay-per-view, Maddie, the whole thing should be on pay-per-view. Like, if you buy UFC 307, you get 10 fights or 12 fights. It's usually 10 or 11 in that range. Wonderboy Thompson versus Buckley. You get it all. If you don't buy the pay-per-view, you get nothing. Like, I don't know why I'm so brutal about that, but it's a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. I feel like sometimes it's like, hey, I can watch 5 of them. I'm be honest.
Yeah, like I'll watch the prelims and then get the highlights of the main shit. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, no, it's a Saturday night, Salt Lake City. Buy it for $70. You watch the whole thing, or you don't get it.
Or you get left out.
or you watch it with us on Fight Finesse.
Or that too. Yeah.
It's amazing.
For sure.
So do you like that idea? Do you not? What's your first take when you hear that?
No, I totally get what you're saying. I think early prelims could probably be on Fight Pass or even like YouTube or something to get people excited. But then it's like you give them the appetizer, you give them the taste. But like then like
two early prelims and then the 4 prelims, 5 pay-per-views, so 9 or 10.
Right. And I think that's way more bang for your buck, if you're forking that over every weekend. Yeah, I kind of dig that idea. I dig that idea.
I've always liked it. I don't know why. It's so weird because like, we're buying it. So I don't, you know what I mean? But like, if you buy it, I want to be like, no, I get all of it.
Right.
Not you guys. I want it.
I bought it, not you.
Yeah. Okay.
No, for sure.
So another question for you, my dear friend, UFC 307s this weekend, guys. Kayla freaking Harrison's back. Ketlin Vieira is the second fight on the main card. And of course, we know the co-main event, bantamweight female championship on the line, Rocky Pennington versus Juliana Pena. Seems like that fight is getting absolutely crapped on by everyone. How smart? My question to you is the UFC the smartest company promotion in the world to put Kayla Harrison on this card? It is so obvious what they're doing. They're putting Kayla on the card. She will call for the challenger next if she wins or when she wins. And, God forbid if anything happens for one of those two girls in the co-main, Kayla goes right to it. How smart is the UFC for putting Kayla on this card with them?
Well, I almost want to say they're not smart because what if something happens to Pennington and what's her face?
Pena.
Thank you, Pena. She's booked already.
No, they'll scrap that fight so goddamn quick and put Kayla Harrison in the title co-main event fight.
That just sucks for her opponent, but I totally get that. No, for sure. I think.
Then we get Wonderboy Thompson and Buckley on the pay-per-view.
Oh, the fact that fight is not on the main card is wild to me.
I know.
I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has earned his stripes to always be on the main card, so that's fucking wild to me. But
you know why he's not on the main card?
Well, because I'm pretty sure they made room. Well, I think they made room for Dalitze and Holland, right?
Well, and that fight should be on it, dude. Kevin Holland is must-see TV. I am a huge Kevin Holland fan. Like, anytime he's on a card, he's pay-per-view. I love Kevin Holland. The reason why Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's not on the pay-per-view, and it's been out there, it's rumored, it's what we do. We chat about it. They're still mad at. Remember when Wonderboy was Michelle Pereira and he was overweight and Wonderboy's like, no, I'm not fighting him, and that kind of hurt the card because that was a pay-per-view fight. So they're saying, hey, if you're not going to fight him, we can't trust you.
So you think they're punishing him?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. No, I get that. Okay, but back to the original question about Pennington and Pena. I think people are just so tired of Pena and just like her mouth and then unfortunately Pennington, like, yeah, you're talented, but you're just so boring. You're so boring. I'm sorry. So it's like, I think people are loving Kayla Harrison because not only is she uber talented, she's got a great personality. She's funny. She's a mom. She's active. Like she's so much more fun to follow and root for that people are dying for her to become champion. So we don't have to listen to Pena anymore. And Pennington can just go and be a mom and like do something else. Like, ugh. And this is coming from a self-proclaimed feminist who loves all women. Okay? Even I can say they're annoying as fuck.
I was going to tell you, we have a surprise guest coming on the show later today. That's Rocky Pennington, and you're just absolutely...
Listen, let's talk, baby girl. Let's talk. You need a better media person because you got to get more exciting.
Let me say this. And Maddie, by the way, I 1,000% agree with you. 1,000,000% agree with you. Someone who came from a WWE background, and I'm a fan of Conor and Rousey and all this stuff of that nature. I'm total agreement with you, Maddie. Total. But if I would say just to play devil's advocate to do this, she's a mixed martial artist. Her job is to win fights. She keeps on winning fights. She is the world champion. Like, she is doing her job well. It's the promotion's job to promote promote her, promote Utah, promote other fighters on the card. It's not her job to play karaoke. You know what I'm saying? I do get that sometimes. Like,
yeah, no,
we don't ask for football players. We don't say, hey, Tom Brady, go up there and juggle on the football field. You win football games, and we usually love and respect you. But you are right. It's not that way in MMA. Like, we want the full package.
Yeah.
We want trauma.
And Dana White talks about this all the time. Like, and you can even correlate it to like a show, right? It's like you have to have the main characters, and then you have to have the supporting cast, and then you have to have people that are there that are good athletes that are doing their job well, but that doesn't mean that they're going to have that superstar power. And it's like, yes, they deliver. Yes, they show up on weight every time. Yes, they win, but they just don't have that next, like, you know? So in whether you like it or not, that's a part of being a UFC fighter. Like, you need to have that little extra in you. And even Tom Brady has that extra thing. Like, you know, like he had the let's go chant, and he had, you know, his weird, like, vegan weird diet that people were like, what is this about? And, you know, it's like he had a character of sorts, but
dude, Turbo Ross Levine is one of the luckiest men in the world. Miss Maddie Levine, look at you. You know MMA. You're talking P. Diddy. You're talking Tom Brady. What a
listen, I know it all. Levine. I know it all, baby. I know it all.
What a stud. What a stud. Ross Levine. Hats off to you, my man. Hats off.
Oh my gosh.
What a
so
stud.
Funny.
We are around 5 minutes away from Chase Sherman fighting on Game Bred Bare Knuckle MMA November 15th in Biloxi, Mississippi. Your girl and myself will be there in the building. We cannot wait for that.
Can't wait.
I'm telling you, and we'll talk about Chase, about the first time in that Coliseum in Biloxi. Like, that is a big, big arena there on the Gulf Coast in Biloxi. Game Bred Bare Knuckle MMA did phenomenal. I thought that card was awesome. I thought it was a great turnout. But everything I've been hearing already, because of it's so hard to go to a market the first time. Now this is their second time. They had a success there. They got a lot of their fighters back in the Biloxi area, but you have a title shot. You have Kevin Lee. You have some big names coming to it. I think they're going to do really, really well on November 15th. Really well.
This card is so exciting. Every fight that gets announced, I'm like, what? What? Are you kidding? It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I was going to wait to, this is a Gillian the Savage Robertson, because that's their teammate. They're teammates. They're good friends. So I do want to save, I'm sorry, Mike. I want to save Aline Perez for Gillian. She'll be on in 32 minutes from now. So let's just put a pin in it. We'll go there. We go. So based off your last point about having the it factor, how do you suppose Alex Pereira does it with so few words in zero English? Okay, that's a great question. Good point. If I can just take it, and Maddie, you can jump on it. Sometimes, of course, English helps, for sure. English does help. But I hear about this all the time, and I do get it. You don't need to sometimes speak English to have the it factor, the charisma. You can walk in rooms. I've been in rooms with some of the biggest people or influencers or presidents, been in a room with Jake Paul, whatever you want to say, Dana White, whatever you want to say, man or female. Sometimes you even in a room with a female, she doesn't even need to talk, but she has a aura around her. She has this it thing about her or him. So sometimes it's not even about words. Sometimes when Alex Pereira walks, you're like, what is that?
I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. So my husband used to fight for Glory Kickboxing, and he was one of the first fights on an Alex Pereira card. And I will never forget the moment I saw Alex Pereira for the first time, because that man there is just an aura about this man. Like, he is just not only gigantic, but there is just this aura about him. Yuri was spot on about, like, some weird aura going on with Poatan. But I think the fact that he isn't very good at English, he had to rely on his amazing ability to fight. and then capitalize on the fact that people think he's so serious. So it's like he could have very well been offended by the Easter Island head dig. You know, he could have very well been offended by, oh, like you're so serious all the time. Instead, he leaned into it and he played along. And, you know, it's like he just did it perfectly. And I think he did it in a way that is so organically him. Like, I don't think he has a PR person. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's just very genuine, and it worked for him.
Another one, I had 2 comments in a row about Charles Oliveira. He is just like that too. Like, he has to me, a very wholesome aura. Like, he connects with his fans.
Yeah.
He's very, like, I don't know how to say this the right way, but like, he's just so you want to root for him. He's like, it's weird to say like wholesome. Wholesome's not the right word, but like, you can tell he loves his fans. He loves this sport.
He's genuine. He's a genuine guy.
Yeah. Good call on this one, Sean. Great call. Alex Pierre's entrance is in WWE. It's like a huge thing. Boxing, they make it a big thing. The UFC doesn't. UFC they'll have a song. We all know Dustin Poirier with like the Diamond song and some stuff like that. And like some people have their own kind of like theme, if you want to say. Alex puts that when he puts that.
Oh, it's so good. And so back in the glory days, they have an awesome catwalk to the ring. And so he would do his trot down the catwalk, and it's like the coolest fucking thing. Like, it's just so awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a couple people in the green room. First and foremost, we're ladies first, right? So let's bring in the third person of this Fight Bananas family. Let's bring Elle Dawson in.
Hello.
Elle, what's up?
What's up? What's going on, Dave? I like the match.
He saw that we got haircuts and felt left out.
Looks like you're entering your like villain era over here.
Once in a while, you know, like I'm going to be with a lot of bare knuckle men who kick ass for a living. I'm just trying to look tough. You know what I mean? I'm trying to look tough. Someone who looks tough and doesn't need to even look it, because this man's one of the toughest son of a bitches in all of combat sports, mixed martial arts, bare knuckle, whatever you want to say. Back on the show. He's got a big fight November 15th in Biloxi, Mississippi. Back on Fight Bananas, the Vanilla Gorilla, Chase Sherman, to the show.
What's up, man? Thanks for the introduction.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Look at the braids.
I like your thing you got going on here. It's good.
You kind of have one too, or does it go all the way?
It kind of goes all the way. I'm not that creative with my
Chase, I just can't. It doesn't come. It doesn't come. Dude, I play this clip every time, almost every show. Chase is on it. I got to play it. I'm going to push play real quick. It's one of the best.
What is it?
Biloxi, Mississippi, where the fuck you at, baby? Let's go.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It'll never get old.
I never get so.
Remember the commissioner coming in there and was like, "You got it."
Yeah, he was upset.
I know, and I was. He almost got it too.
I was gonna say that.
I mean, the thing is like you can't expect, like you got to understand, like this is different than any other sport, man. It's like your adrenaline is way up here, even more so than like an MMA fight. You know what I mean? And I didn't really, that fight didn't last, but half a round. So it was like I still was on one. I had to you can't expect somebody to be a savage animal and then in 2 minutes later just turn it down to a professional and have this sort of etiquette. It's just really kind of hard.
Well, Chase, let's talk about it. November 15th, back in Biloxi, Mississippi, back in the Coliseum. You got great memories there. We don't have to talk about, there's a little bit of a matchup, change up a thing. Dean Toole will talk about that at a different time. But you're fighting Mo Green, a big-time veteran, UFC, PFL main eventer. He's done some big things in the game. A humongous fight, Chase. How pumped are you for it? A really big matchup. Talk us through it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It wasn't the original plan, but at least you know, I was supposed to fight Greg, and then, but at least, you know, Greg ended up getting out of the fight or pulling out of the fight or whatever early on, and you know, within a good time frame, so I didn't have to make adjustment. You know, like I wasn't training for a whole entire camp for one specific person, and then at the end having to make quick adjustments in order to fight somebody new. So that's nice. Yeah, and Maurice Green's he's tall, he's long, he's a striker, he's, you know, glory kickboxer. He was in the UFC. He was I can't remember. Did he win the Ultimate Fighter or was he just a finalist? But,
I believe a finalist.
Yeah, I think.
And so he's a seasoned vet, PFL. You know, this will be the third guy with the organization that was, you know, UFC, Bellator, PFL. That, you know, Dean's bringing in a lot of good guys, and then a lot of guys that like to fight, and I'm excited about that. So it's his first bare knuckle event. It's different. You know, it's different. So we'll see what, how he, you know, makes those adjustments, and you know, it'll be interesting. But you know, it's part of the hometown crowd is like, I'm gonna be keyed up. You know.
Yeah, I love watching how honored you are to represent Mississippi. And after one of your last fights, you were going in about how you want respect on your name and Mississippi in general when it comes to bare knuckle and people understanding that you guys are kind of the birthplace of bare knuckle. So just talk to me a little more about like what it means to represent Mississippi and what you want people to know about your fighting culture.
Well, I mean, just really the culture in general there, you know, we're kind of like that little 90-mile piece of landmass that kind of gets forgot about. Like most people don't even know we have a coastline in between New Orleans and Alabama. And so, you know, your whole life is like you just kind of like, you're just kind of like that area that nobody really knows about. You're just not, you know what I mean? There's not much going on there really as far as like people kind of getting out of that area and making really, I don't know, there's not a lot of professional athletes that come out of there. You know what I'm saying? And so like being able to represent where I'm from and kind of that fighting spirit, and then kind of carry along the heritage that kind of got forgotten about, the history that got forgotten about, is important, you know, and can potentially inspire, you know, generations from now to come and kind of pursue that. I don't know what happened, but y'all disappeared on my. There you go.
No, I made you big. I made you the star. I made you the star.
Yeah, and so like, it's an honor really because. You got to be a fighter when you come from there, man. We get out the fucking mud, you know what I mean? We never have really garnered any much respect other than just kind of, you know, being tough. And I think you can kind of see that I haven't done the analytics on it, but from the area kind of pertaining from like Lafayette, which is south of I-10, to that whole coastline up to, you know, Pensacola, has produced a lot of good fighters, man. Yeah. I mean, you can look at it by the state, but really the culture is more derived, you know what I mean? Like in that area, the people are the same, the culture's kind of the same. And so like, it's just produced a lot of good fighters from, you know what I mean? All the way from Roy Jones Jr. to Daniel Cormier and Dustin Poirier. And I mean, the list can kind of go on and on.
What is it about that area, in your opinion, that produces all these fighters? Like, what is it? Is it the culture?
I just think it's a little bit of culture. You know what I mean? It's just like a bunch of we grow up fighting. You know what I mean? I remember, you know, we didn't have a lot of boxing gyms. We didn't have wrestling in Mississippi, and it was mostly, you know, I played football my whole life. But I remember growing up, and you just heard about like people getting in fights, and like I remember. Like when we would go get in it with another school, you know what I'm saying? In high school, I remember like everybody and their mama was fucking there. You know what I mean? I mean, it was the girls were out there in pajamas and like just, it was just, I mean, it was just anywhere, anytime everybody had just, it was it was all about kind of like making your name for yourself, almost kind of like it is here in South Florida. You know, it was at least with like Kimbo and Masvidal and just boys being boys. You know what I mean? And when you're coming up, you kind of really want to make a name for yourself. And I was like, I want to be the best football player and the best fighter I could be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so when I got done playing ball in college, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. You know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight.
I love it. This is a good question. Christopher J threw it out there. It was literally on my list for you as well, Chase. And I know every fighter has that, hey, one fight at a time. I got Mo Green November 15th. He's a 6'8" monster that's going to try to knock my head off. So I get it. But it goes, Chase, when you win, will you call for that title shot against Junior Dos Santos?
Wait, what'd you say? You said you got Mo what? What do you mean you got Mo?
He's saying you have him first. So obviously we know
like you have Mo Green
next, but
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you picking him to win. I was like,
Did you see the look on Chase's face? He was so offended for a second.
No.
Come on,
he was like, "How dare you?"
Coming there with that microphone this time. You better be on guard.
I can't say who I think or who I want to win because I will be doing stuff. But come on, we got history.
Throw the mic at you, Dave.
What? So what was the question again? Oh, Junior.
When you win against Mo Green, will you be calling out Junior Dos Santos?
You know, I called out Junior too last fight. I thought that's what the plan was, really.
Yeah.
Whenever, you know, that was really talked about. It was like whoever won the fight between me and Alex was going to get to fight the winner of Allen and Junior. And it worked out perfectly. So it was like I wouldn't have to, you know, unfortunately, like Allen, I've never won Allen.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have had to fight him. And so it worked out perfectly for me. And then next thing you know, Junior's up there on the fucking microphone calling out a guy that just lost, you know, and Roy. And I'm like, hey, bud, I'm right here. Like, you know what you mean? Like, but at the same time, it's like, I can understand, you know what I mean, his position as far as, you know, Roy being more of a household name and things like that from a marketing standpoint. I could see that, as well as like it being, you know, an easier fight. You know, he had already beaten Roy as well in the UFC. And so I guess if I was in his position and seeing like what I just had done to somebody like as tough and good as Alex, I would probably have called somebody else out as well. But, you know, patience is a virtue, man. And so I'm just being patient and he is, you know, I'll keep calling him out until he accepts it. You know what I mean? I can't really do anything about it other than, you know, try to get the fight. And I have nothing respect for the guy because he's somebody that I idolized before I started fighting, you know, like an athletic boxing heavyweight, you know. He came up in probably I would say the toughest heavyweight era of the UFC. I mean, you had Kane, you had Uberim, you had, you know, Brock, you had all the
Carwin,
Carwin. Pre-USADA UFC was a fucking,
especially for the heavyweights. Monsters.
Yeah. And so watching him, man, and it was just like, man, this dude's. I remember UFC 211. We were on the same card. He fought Stipe. I still have that picture with him. So I would hate to have to really fucking challenge his manhood and his character in order to get the fight. But if that's what has to take place, then that's what has to take place. But it would be an honor just to share the cage with somebody like that, you know?
For sure. And real quick, and I don't want to interrupt. I know, Maddie, you got the next question. I think it's very important. I think it's important for the brand Game Bred Bare Knuckle, to be totally honest. And, you know, I know everyone knows I talk to Dean and stuff. If you keep winning fights, Chase, and of course you keep doing your thing, that fight needs to happen. Like, we can't be taking other names, and especially the man who got a loss last, and because of it, so maybe the name is big or whatever. At the end of the day, if you're winning fights, you just knocked out Alex Nicholson, who Alex hasn't literally one loss the last 2-3 years, and it's to you. Like, to me, you keep winning fights. You and Dos Santos needs to happen. It's good for the brand. It kind of it says, hey, we're rewarding the guys who's in there battle. You know what I mean? I think it's important for you getting that title shot next.
Yeah, it's holding integrity to the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's something that we need in this era because, man, the integrity of the sport has really kind of been challenged, especially with all these YouTubers coming out and boxing and promoters realizing like, hey, it's fucking people are going to watch people fight regardless of their skill set. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get guys that have millions of followers that can't fight worth a shit, that are just going to cause drama or just going to cause, just be, it's almost theatrics. It's almost like WWE type of shit. Right. And so that really kind of, what does that do for the sport in the long run? You know what I mean? It's like, damn, I don't even have to practice my craft. I just need to fucking make sure I got a lot of people watching me on YouTube or watching me on Instagram or whatever. And it's just kind of, it's garbage, It's just like any other art really nowadays, like music on the radio is fucking garbage. You know what I mean?
I know. But
excellence is
garbage. Like
not the goal. Famous.
Yeah, like anything you watch on social media is pretty much garbage. Like,
I know.
It's like people want to be so attracted to the drama and shit. Like, no, really dive into the craft and be a fan and like understand like the ins and outs of the sports and like what these fighters have to go through. Because
yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer that everything is cyclical, right? It's like it might have started off wonderful. Now, like YouTubers or whatever are kind of fucking with it, but it's gonna come back around, and the best are gonna rise again. Yeah, like they're gonna fall to the wayside, and the best are gonna come through again. And I personally love watching bare knuckle rise to the occasion and rise to the top. People are loving it. They love watching bare knuckle, and rightfully so. It is so entertaining and so exciting. For someone who has done it several times now, what changes need to be made if somebody is interested in making that transition? What needs to change when it comes to their training?
Well, honestly, it's not even so much. At least I find it, you know what I mean. But I'm also a different type of fighter when the way I look at things. But it's not even really per se the training. It's more or less the mentality. That has to change, and it just depends on who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I find that when you're fighting bare knuckle, it's like I'm able to kind of tap into these more primal kind of this primal type of mentality, I guess, because you have to. Something about your brain is just like, wow, like I could get really fucking hurt. Like this person's like, this is a big dude swinging at me with bare knuckles, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just almost like you don't have an option but to kind of tap into that more primal side, and it's like a kill or be killed kind of a thing. So you either got it or you don't. And you kind of see which fighters naturally have it and have more success in the sport. I mean, guys like Mike Perry, for instance, you know what I mean? Is one that, I could just think off the top of my head. Besides like myself, Allen has had some really good success at bare knuckle. It's just a dog type of mentality. It's almost like who's willing to suffer more. You know what I mean? Who's willing to get in there? And you cannot be timid. You know what I mean? There's no reason like a bare knuckle fight. If I have a bare knuckle fight, there's no reason that it should ever go outside the first round. It really shouldn't, because it's just once you get in there and just let everything go, it's when you're my size and you hit as hard as I do, and it only takes one. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just kind of you can see in their eyes. You know what I mean? It's just like, whoa, I wasn't fucking really ready for this. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? With that being said, you're talking about these guys who have this natural ability that fits into bare knuckle well, and some of those guys are having significantly more success in bare knuckle than they did in the UFC. What are like you talk about the dog, but like what are the technical aspects and the style aspects that make somebody better at bare knuckle fighting?
So I think more of the technical aspects would be really training on placing your shots. You know what I mean? Really learning how to be more precise, to finding like your true range, and then also just to like when you're engaged in a firefight, you know what I mean, being able to stay poised and calm as if that person has 16-ounce gloves on or something.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Randy Costa said it best after his last fight. He was like, I don't know how I didn't break both of my hands. And we were talking about, we were like, well, you were probably punching correctly.
Yeah. I like to do a lot of Alan kind of showed me this, but doing like shadow boxing, you know what I mean? When I'm doing shadow boxing, doing really slow, methodically, like full range, and then really kind of like at the end of the punch, just squeezing and contracting the hands, you know what I mean? And that really helps with like those neural pathways, opening it up. So whenever you're fighting, it's more natural.
Right.
Not hitting the upper fist, and it's just like your body is learning how to be just firm and tight right at the last second. Things like that. Just kind of, obviously hitting the bag even, without gloves on, just hand wraps. Doing things that can condition the wrists and. Learning how to turn the knuckles over when I'm punching. I mean, I don't want to give a whole fucking seminar on the shit because
it's really fascinating because it really is. Because I feel like when like the first BKFC fights, like I think we can all agree they were pretty messy. Like when it first became a thing, like it was just kind of ugly, and now we're seeing like the formation of this brand new sport. Like it's its own thing.
Yeah, I like really practicing on when I'm like sparring or things like that, just focusing on a very small target, which is usually just the chin, and being real precise with that and keeping my eyes wide, versus trying to constantly evade or whatever, staying in the pocket. Boxers have a really good way of doing that. They can put pressure on you and make you feel exhausted without even hitting you, just because they're constantly in your, you know what I mean, in your pocket. They're just constantly stepping in that circle. You know what I mean? So things like that are just the little things that people really aren't thinking about and doing. And you see more like traditional martial arts too. When I was talking about the shadow boxing and slowing it down and really like extending and contracting at the very end of your punches and strikes. Like traditional kung fu martial artists, when they're going through their like cadences and stuff, you see them do that. Like Shaolin monks, they'll do a strike and they'll hold it right there at the end. You know what I mean? Even if it's a block or a parry, and those things have been done for hundreds of years.
Right. Chase, this Biloxi card is absolutely stacked. For one, I can't wait, of course, your fight, you and Mo, the championship fight, Brandon Michael Davis versus Randy Costa. They just, announced Kevin Lee. How about Jason Knight versus Weems? So much on it. Of course, we're all ready for the Chase Sherman Green fight. But if there's another fight in that card, Chase, you're like, hey, to the people, to the masses, you can't miss this fight. It's another fight you're going to be definitely maybe peeking through the curtains trying to watch? Or do you care about anything else on that card?
Yeah, I mean, Jason and Brandon are friends of mine. Kevin Lee's a teammate of mine.
Yeah.
Here in South Florida. I'm really excited for Kevin. I'm the one that kind of talked him into doing it.
Okay.
So I introduced him to Dean and stuff. And we actually have a couple other guys here at Coe Cliff that are really interested, that are going to be, they could be like really successful in the sport,
Chase,
like
imagine Gregory Rodriguez and bare knuckle MMA.
Oh,
bro,
terrifying.
That's what I'm saying. There's certain types of fighters you can name them, you know what I mean? It's just the mentality. It's just something about it, man. And Dean does a really good job of finding those guys that kind of lay their body out on the line. You know what I mean? It's like the guys that want to go out on their shield, if anything. Those are the cats that really find success in the sport. And yeah, that would be just that would be a nightmare for a lot of people if he was. And but like Andre Fialago is somebody that's
you know
what I mean, that's been talking to me about doing bare knuckle, and he's been really interested in it. He's a fucking hell of a boxer, and he's he came up fighting too without gloves on. You know what I mean? I mean, it'd be great to see Jorge come in and do at least one fight without the gloves on, like for old time's sake. You know what I mean? Like that'd be sick. And then
Wait,
there's a
Chase,
couple
did you
guys,
see?
man.
Chase, did you watch the Jorge Nate boxing fight? By the way,
Yeah. I did.
I thought Jorge looked really good.
Yeah, he did. They were, fuck, man.
They were throwing.
Pouring it on each other, man. They really were.
Yeah.
They were just trying to drown each other. You know what I mean? It was exhausting. Yeah. But Nate always has kind of been like that. You know what I mean? But I guess what I was going to say back to your question was Brandon and Randy. I don't know if you watched their first fight, but it was a sick fight. It was a great fight. You know, those are two guys I'm looking forward to watching. Who else? Kevin. You know, I want to see how he does in bare knuckle. And then Jason's always a fun fight. You know, he's trying to redeem himself for that last thing. Hopefully, they've been training hard back home. And I'll be going back home around Halloween, so I'll finish the last 2 weeks of camp up there. Yeah. And so I'll have a good insight as far as how their camps have been going and things of that nature. So
amazing!
I can't wait to fight week. Fight week with Chase Sherman hopefully means his son will be at the weigh-ins. His son last weigh-in absolutely stole the show.
Oh, he'll be there. Hopefully, I can have both of them there. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's always a good week.
I'm ready to get back home to see him. So it was good talking to y'all.
Yeah, man. Chase, always a pleasure, brother.
Okay.
Always a pleasure. November 15th, Chase Sherman will take over Biloxi, Mississippi.
Biloxi, Mississippi, where the fuck you at, baby? Let's go.
Well, we got to update that clip, Chase.
Yeah.
We need a new one.
But I was gonna say another thing too, man. It's the day before my birthday, man. So everybody's got to show up. You know
Let's
what I mean?
go.
Let's go.
I gotta hit up George and be like, because his birthday is like I think on the 12th.
Okay.
So have like a little joint after party or something,
Yes.
Definitely.
I like it.
Sounds fantastic.
All right.
Chase, you're the man, brother. We'll talk soon.
All right, bye.
Thanks,
All right,
Chase.
see you fight week. Chase Sherman, man. Absolute monster. Love that guy. So. Oh, what's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm still eating, but it's okay. Just so you guys know, if Dave or Maddie ever puts like just one person's face up on the screen, I am smashing food in the background.
Elle, you're smashing food on screen too. It's fine.
I'm trying to have good manners on screen. I'm trying.
Like, I wait when I'm
so
on
hungry.
screen.
This is how it's going to be until I fight, guys. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
This is my life now.
So Moicano, he's pretty good.
Huh?
Moicano, he's pretty good.
Moicano's great, man. Let's go. Oh, I'm stoked. I'm so happy for him, man. Dude, how fucked are the rankings though?
We talked about it earlier, and we so wanted you part of this conversation. How can you be the underdog, go to Paris, fight the biggest Paris maybe star, the second biggest star, dominated,
absolutely scariest dudes in the division, who's
and
known for being
not
tough.
move up in rankings? No bonus, no ranking, nothing. That's wild.
And it's wild too because there honestly weren't a whole lot of finishes. There were only like 3, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody that got there were more than 3, but there were only a handful of like memorable finishes. I feel like we had like the knee from Ziam, Morgan Charest's knockout, like
Brian Battle,
guillotine, and all those guys got bonuses, obviously. But yeah, it's mind blowing. The ranking system, guys, it's so effed. I don't know which journalists are in charge of that, but I just want y'all to know that Fight Bananas is not.
Yeah, I wonder who's in charge of that in general. Because I feel like even Dana White has come like during post-fight pressers or like just during questioning, like even he will be like asked about rankings and he's like, I don't know, you guys are going to make it next week anyway. Like he never answers.
Like, why are you asking me when you're gonna do it? And they clearly have favorites. They clearly have people they do and don't like. Like it's such a bizarre thing that the organization has nothing to do with that, you know?
Elle, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm just gonna be honest. UFC, don't give me a ranking because my number one female strawweight would be Gillian Robertson. My number UFC male lightweight would be Grant Dawson. So don't give me a damn ranking. I'm just gonna be honest about it. I will be.
At least we know our biases, Dave. Okay.
Yeah. I know one of our favorites. Talking about one of our favorites comes on every time. 1 o'clock Fight Bananas time. 2 p.m. Savage time. Welcome back, Gillian the Savage Robertson.
What is that?
Number one ranked strawweight in the world right there.
Exactly. In Fight Bananas book, that's all that matters.
We need to have our own rankings where it's literally just all of our friends. I support this.
The most biased
rankings of all time.
I definitely want to do 2024, like, best whatever. We should do it.
That was wild.
No,
was it me?
He's like in slow-mo. I'm like, no, Maddie.
No, she was underwater.
I know it was
like what it sounded like.
So bad. I gotta try to add her back in. And Maddie, we're trying to add you back in. Let's see. Wait.
She said no to her.
Wait.
Nope. Nope.
God my goodness. Dude, she was the first half of the show was just her and I. She was amazing. Like wow.
Like, guys, got on Gillian and it threw off the mic.
Gillian, we waited an hour and 1 minute. We tried. People were commenting about her. We have to talk about Miss Perez. We waited and waited. We know it's your girl, the GOAT girl. It was Perez, Brian Battle, and Moicano stole the show. Her numbers have been going through the roof for Instagram and all of that nature. How great was the performance, getting a first round submission win, and then of course a little bit of Turk.
The performance was absolutely amazing. I don't think you could ask for anything more. Went out there, was able to take her down quick, and then it was easy once it was on the ground for her. And obviously, post-fight, I feel like nobody's doing it better than her right now with getting the eyes on her. Love or hate, she's getting all the eyes on her, and that's all that matters.
I do have to ask. So, obviously, she's your friend. I have some friends that do some crazy post-fight stuff that I probably would feel differently about if they weren't my friends. Be honest. What would you do if your opponent twerked in your face after submitting you? Would we be hugging after that?
I don't think I'd personally hug my opponent after that. I'd be like, okay, like I don't know. I just would, I would take that as a sign of disrespect to me. Like,
yeah.
But
same.
Yeah, I'm like, I personally wouldn't be okay if it was done to me, but it's like, apparently,
but it is quite a spectacle to watch. I will admit.
It's a spectacle to watch. Apparently, her opponent was talking shit about it before the fight, so that was like her reasoning behind it. Eileen, I feel like, is one of a kind. Everything you see out on TV, you will see in the gym. Like, that is just her. And I feel like that's what I love about her. It's genuinely her. She's crazy and I love it.
We love it too. One person we also love is Maddie Levine. Let's see if the Wi-Fi is working back.
How about now?
Ooh, look at that audio. It's
okay.
Perfect.
So what happens is my husband's headphones, every time he puts them in, they connect to my laptop and they fuck everything up. So
dude, I was giving Ross 30 minutes. I was giving him all of his flowers. Now I'm going to, next time I see Ross, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. I'm growing facial hair. I'm getting tough. Ross.
Yeah, he fucked it all up. But anyway, we're back. We're back. It sounds like we're talking about Perez.
Yes,
we are.
Yes.
We're all in about Perez.
Okay.
One thing I loved, karate combat, GOAT, Mr. Awesome over there. I like that he was just open about it. He's like, oh, is disrespectful? Absolutely. Stop it. Like, win the fight so she doesn't do that to you. Like, there's a little part of me that kind of likes it. It's like a little bit like, this is combat sports. This isn't chess. We're not playing. Like, I'm coming to smash you. I'm coming to win my win bonus. I'm coming to, what Perez has done in the last 6 months to her socials and her presence. She is becoming a megastar because she twerks on people's face. Stop it if you don't want her to be it. Like, I kind of, there's a part of me that respects it.
Yeah. Some people play that heel really well, you know, like,
yeah.
Like, and you see it, like, there's a lot of polarizing characters that will always be draws. Like Colby fights once every 2.5 years, and he's still a huge draw because there's a super polarizing group of people that love him and a super polarizing group of people that hate him. So it works.
Yeah. G?
No, I feel like like I said, love her or hate her, she's got the eyes on her. You can't not respect that. Like you see her following go up after every fight enormously. She's winning fights. Like I don't think you can talk shit on it.
And this goes back to Dave, what we were just talking about on how Pereira became a superstar in his own way. Yeah. Perez is doing it in her way. Elle, I mean, we spoke about this on the Sunday Morning Brew for like 5-10 minutes. And it's like, I was going in about how much I can't stand it. But at the same time, we're spending 10 minutes talking about her. So it's like, it works.
It does. No, like
in my 2 cents, and I kind of.
G and I both were like, no, we would hate that if somebody did that to us. Yeah. But it's a spectacle and it's working.
Right.
And there's a part of me that's like, at the end of the day, and it's the opposite of me. And this is why I think I'm so, I said this to G 10 times. Like, I love her fighting style. Like, why I was like, she was finishing people. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a fan of Gillian. And then we became best friends in the world, and now we hold UFC records together. But my point is, like, there's something about Perez that, like, I like. This is a combat sport. Like, we are not, like, I feel like so many fighters nowadays are like, they're too friendly. They're it's all gung ho. It's all like they got too many smiles on.
We're never going to be tennis. We're never going to be
exactly. This isn't tennis. This isn't golf. Like, go in on someone. Like, go for it. Like, I like it. I do. I really do. I respect it. I do. Gee, how is it? I know she's a bigger, a different weight class than you, but how is it training with Perez? Have you kind of seen her, her ascension kind of in GOAT and over the last 6 months, a year? Like, dude, she's getting tough.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen her grow, and I feel like she's found a place where she feels comfortable. She's got a lot of support. Like I said, we got a good group of like smaller boys. So it's perfect for both me and her, where we can work together. We can work with the boys, and it's just a lot of good different looks. I feel like it's been an ideal location. Obviously, they had Karate Combat last week. We had a couple fighters on it there. We had Eileen this week. Tonight, Alberto Montez is fighting on the Contender Series. Yep. And then again next week, Karate Combat. We've got another couple fighters on that card. So it's like we're always staying busy and we always have people working. And it's just, I feel like it's a good environment.
I love it. I love it. We're 6 weeks out?
Yeah. I think we're about 6 weeks out. 5.5, 6 weeks.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Just when it starts to get fun.
Right.
Sorry.
Seriously.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. I was going to say something else, but I'll save it. I'll save it for a different time. All right. UFC 307. Oh, is there anything else on Paris? How good was Moicano? Brian Battle was a superstar. There were some great finishes. Anything else on UFC Paris you want to hit on before we go to UFC 307, G?
I think you covered it there. Like I was going to say, I heard you guys talking about it just as I came on. Moicano not getting ranked and not getting a bonus is like
wild, right?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense.
Mind blown.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. We all know this. We all have significant others that are in it, or we all talk to people in it. There's shit behind the scenes. Maybe him going in on the France, president, whatever that is. Yeah. Maybe Dana's got friends with. I don't know. There's something probably happened. There's no way that man doesn't get a bonus. Like that was one of the best performances of the month of the season. Like, how does he 10-7 Benoit Saint Denis? Am I wrong on that when I say that? No, I'm not joking. 100%. I really think the first round's a 10-7.
And I am not down to give out 10-7s and like very often. And I 100%, I was like, oh, that's a 10-7 round. Like he didn't get hit.
I feel like the bonuses can be all over the place. Sometimes I don't always agree with them, but the not moving in the rankings at all.
Yeah, that's the one where I'm like, whoa. Yeah. How? That's the one where I'm like, that doesn't feel right.
Not at all. I'm like, you beat top 10 opponent, you beat a tough opponent, like you deserve to move up. What's the criteria to move up then?
Right.
I gotta find Moicano made an awesome post about it. And he was like, the people who are above me, and he's like, Max Holloway, not a lightweight. Like that was the funniest one.
Chris, that's a total that's a meme. He really didn't get fined at all. Yeah, it's not real at all. So it was a total meme on the internet. Brian Battle will be on Fight Bananas tomorrow, by the way, talking about his UFC Paris win and talking about how much he loves Fight Bananas the whole time. That's what he told me. He's like, I'm just going to talk about how much we love you guys. So that's Brian Battle tomorrow. All right, G307. I definitely want your thoughts on the main event. Can Roundtree pull off this major upset? Pierre has been the fighter of the year. Short notice, always stepping up, doing he's Mr. UFC. Like whenever they need a main event, Alex Pereira, you're the guy. Can Roundtree pull off the upset, or is this 100% an Alex knockout?
I think it's going to be hard for Roundtree. I think it's going to be a rough night for him. I think Pereira is just on top right now, and I feel like it's going to be hard to take him down. There's few fights that I feel like I see him walking out losing right now.
Yeah,
right.
For real.
Well,
I think we were all like, with the Jamal Hill fight, we were all like, oh, maybe. But then it was like, nope. And with this, like, I've been seeing a lot. What's that?
I think Khalil has a way better chance than Jamal Hill.
And I love seeing all of the opposing headlines. Like, there have been so many of like, Roundtree's going to upset Pereira. And then it's like, Pereira's going to dominate. It's like, everybody is so split.
If I could say real quick, I agree. This fight is not going to be a close fight. This fight will end by one man smashing the other one. I don't see it a third round. Oh, who won that round? This is going to be a one-way train going forward.
Question for you.
Alex,
you couldn't see like a close fight and then a knockout? Like, no. It's a toss-up, somebody gets a knockout?
No, train. One way train.
All right.
One-way train.
I feel like Khalil's going to come out and he's going to try hard. Like, he's definitely going to try to make it a fight. But I think Alex is just too far ahead of him that he's going to be able to find his points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it.
And with this one, I mean, you'll be shocked when Khalil takes him down. Khalil has already said he's not attempting a single takedown.
He has 0 attempts in his entire
He has 0 attempts, and he said he's not starting now. So don't be shocked when Pereira tries a takedown.
He has one.
She said she got some inside.
I got some inside info. We might see at least one takedown.
I love it. All right, G, there's 2 big female fights on the pay-per-view. Of course, Kayla Harrison versus Caitlin Vieira, big fight, but then the co-main event, Rocky Pennington versus Juliana Pena. I would love your take on both fights, and if you see Kayla winning and course fighting the winner, it feels like the UFC is really setting up for a big future matchup between that.
Yeah, I was thinking about the 2 interesting strawweight fights as well, too. I'm like, on the early prelims and on the prelims, there's Carla Esparza and Tisha Torres and, what is it? Marina Rodriguez and Eisman Lucindo. So I'm like, 2 fights in my division that I'm super interested in watching, especially Eisman and Marina Rodriguez. I feel like Eisman's really been, I'm kind of like a fan of her, which I hate because she's in my division. I know we're going to fight one day, but I absolutely love her style. She goes for the kill. She's very aggressive, and she's young and she's hungry. So I'm really excited for that fight. I think, like you said, I think Kayla's on the up and up. They're kind of got her on the trajectory for the title fight, putting her on the same card as Raquel and Juliana. Maybe some tension, good to cause it there, or to make sure that she's in the same spot. And I've heard that she's also she's the replacement if either one of them is unable to fight as well. But so I see Kayla being fairly dominant in that fight, and then we go to Raquel and Juliana, and I hope Raquel wins. I'm like, because I don't think anybody wants to see Juliana champ.
Juliana Pena, the most hated MMA fighter in the biz. Like, I feel
man
like
or woman.
Yeah, man or woman.
Yeah.
Like, Colby's hated,
than
but there's like
Colby?
10 or 15% that people like him, like his stick.
I would say more than Colby. I don't know a
I
single
don't know
person.
anyone that likes Juliana Pena. Not one.
I don't know a
person.
single person that likes Pena.
That's true. I don't know anybody who's like, oh, I'm a fan. Like,
yeah, like I love
my
her
girl.
energy. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
One of my friends today was telling me, she's like, yeah, Misha Tate's really good friends with Juliana, and I was like, that makes sense. Like Misha's just too nice. Misha couldn't hate anybody, you know? Misha's the nicest person in the world. I'm like, it makes sense that she's friends with Juliana.
That's funny.
That's so funny.
We don't even know her. Like, she's a person I'm like, I don't think you could convince me. Like, there are people where I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like them when I meet them in person, and then I do, and they're amazing. I don't think you could convince me to like Juliana.
Honestly, I'm the same because I don't know her in person. I've never met her personally, but just the energy she puts off in interviews, which
it's not good.
Could very well be an act, but it seems very much real to me.
It seems real, right? It's like it doesn't seem
real.
like an act.
Did you see on like the countdown show? Guys, that second fight, when she fought Amanda Nunes, it was one of the most lopsided fights of all time. Like Amanda Nunes, like 50-44, 50-43 on a couple guards. It was a domination. She was like so cringy. She's like, I actually thought I won some rounds. I thought I was coming back. She's like, if it was like one more round, I think I would have won that fight. I'm like, in what world?
Literally in what world?
My thing that made it like, oh, I can never be a fan of you was her like in the crowd responding to Amanda like retiring. It's like,
oh yeah,
have a little class.
Silva. I was like,
yeah,
it's terrible.
Oh, yeah, that was a no for me.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right.
Any other cards?
Like smack today. We talked enough.
I know. Yeah. Our special surprise guest, Juliana Pena. Never coming on.
Come on in, babe.
Never coming on.
There are a couple like overall. I'm like, we got to have everybody on. There are a handful of fighters, and Dave knows at least one of them. Where I'm like, no, absolutely not. It's not happening. They're never going to be on Fight Minutes.
We talked about her last show. I don't know if you saw. So Dean and Ryan, like they have that show together. They both came on. It was a really cool conversation. Their audios will be under the Fight Bananas banner going forward. So that was really cool. But of course, you maybe came up 2, 3, 5 times, 6 times, something like that. But yes, Elle, that person, the name that we don't say here on Fight Bananas Land was brought up when you weren't on the show. So
keep it there. When I'm not, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
But 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks.
We'll always have G.
Yeah, we definitely. We're Team Savage. It is what it is. I'm telling you, if they gave me rankings, Gillian would be ranked number 1. There you go. Number 1 strawweight. I would be Super Bowl weekend, Gillian versus Whaley for the championship, main event and pay-per-view. Give them Gillian points. Pay-per-view points.
Soon enough, man. Soon enough.
Hell yeah.
There you go. You still have your eyes on that Mackenzie Dern and in Tampa. Who's she? Not Limoges. Who is it? Ribas. Amanda Ribas.
Yeah.
Ribas.
Yeah.
Actually, did we talk about this? I'm like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. I think it would be Mackenzie's fight, honestly. I think that just honestly, I've been kind of studying Ribas. I guess her last fight was against Pinheiro, the girl I'm fighting. So like I know she doesn't do well when she's being very overwhelmed with a lot of pressure. Like that's where Pinheiro was able to capitalize. And that's what Mackenzie's good at doing. Mackenzie's good at bringing the pressure and then forcing people into her game. So it's like, I feel like it doesn't seem like a great matchup for Ribas.
I agree with you.
That's such an interesting way to like. Is it all that when you're watching your opponents or future opponents? Do you watch sometimes? Not even you're watching for your opponent now, but you pick up stuff on Ribas. Do you do that often? It's like, hey, I'm going to watch this fight, and she's not even on your radar yet. Maybe there's some girls that are probably not unranked that are maybe soon going to be ranked that maybe are going to come through. Maybe the Gillian, train. Like, do you kind of keep task or kind of put that away for future stuff?
A little, so my last fight against Michelle Watterson 2 fights ago fought Luana Pinheiro. So It's like, I've already kind of studied her a bunch my last camp watching her fight Michelle. So it's like now I'm watching that exact same fight, but I guess from the opposite perspective. I'm watching the other person, studying the other person a lot more, where it's like I've already seen this fight 1,000 times, but now I'm watching it 1,000 more times, just in a different way.
Right.
Last thing for me, and then Elle and Maddie, if you have anything else for G, go run ahead. My last thing is with Dean was like on the show last week, and it was just a night thing that we did. It was really cool. And I've talked to him so much on air and off air about this, and you can just tell it was a little bit different this time. He's like, hey, this is it. Like, this is the run. Like this for Sean Brady and yourself. He really thinks that the next 18 months for both of you guys will be another 2-3 wins each. And you guys are both in that range. Sean Brady wins 3 more fights. He's fighting for the world championship or the one, the number one contender, the biggest fight you can do. Same thing with yourself. If you win 3 more times in the next 18 months, like there's not that much in front of you. You are fighting Whaley or a number one contendership against maybe another girl who did the same kind of thing. He was pretty like, yeah, this is happening. Like we are in these runs right now. And like from as someone who supports you so much, like it was really cool to hear that. Like he was like, yeah, it's right now. We're happy. This is the run.
No, I feel like I couldn't agree with that more. I think that just where we're at as a team, one thing I feel like our communication and what we both need out of the relationship is just amazing at this point. We both know we've just got everything dialed in, it's like we're like, I just sent him my sparring videos. I tell him my feedback of it. He tells me his feedback of it. We're just always on the same page with each other, working together. And I feel like we've just found the right formula. Plus with Goat Shed, me just having all the right training partners, always being able to stay ready. It's just, I've really found like the championship formula for me, So I feel confident in saying that I feel like I'm on my championship run, where I don't feel like I don't know. I've always obviously been on that path, but I've never felt as confident as I do now.
Love it. Love it. I can't
so
wait.
exciting to watch too.
Yeah.
We're just over here like, woo!
I feel like it was like the most frustrating, like, I guess like 5-6 years of the first part of my UFC career, where it's like now I'm like, I get it,
You look back and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I had to grow up through a lot of losses, learning a lot, and now it's like I feel like I've got it. I've learned it,
It's,
like
I say this all the time, and all of us have different times and different seasons. We all been in different relationships or genres or whatever that is. I say this all the time. Like, there's a reason why you went through that, though. Like, there's a reason why we all had our backgrounds and our present and why we're here right now and whatever. And like, I don't know, I'm such a believer. Like you're ready when you're ready, and you're in the spot that you should be in right now and going forward. So, hey, I've been saying this for a while. You are the female Charles Oliveira. Like, we're going to look back 2 years from now and you're going to be the champ, and everyone's going to be like, dude, like Gillian's the champ. Like, to a lot of other people outside, when Oliveira became the champ, you're like, it was kind of weird. And then he just kept on winning. You're like, holy shit, this guy's the best. He's one of the best in the world. I think it's going to be the same for you. You're just going to keep on winning. And people are going to be like, dude, why can't anyone stop her? Like the rear naked choke. Like, why can't anyone stop this? And you got it down.
I saw a really awesome comment on one of Moicano's post, or I don't know if it's his post or somebody posting about him, but somebody said, this is Moicano's Oliverification. And I was like, that's the best phrase ever. We need that coined.
That is good.
Exactly.
Oliverification. There you go.
I love it.
No, that's the best way to phrase it. I feel like this is my Oliverification.
I like it. All right. Clip that up. Put that on socials. All right, guys. Gillian the Savage Robertson every Tuesday here. Crazy. The fight camp will be, all in all swing, and the fight will be here before you know it. It's wild time, G. Wild time.
I feel like from this point, it comes up fast.
It does. It does.
For sure.
Time's quick. But, G, we appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Later. Gillian the Savage Robertson. There we go. Chris Duncan going to be coming in 5 minutes. A big winner of UFC Paris.
I said Sorry, we both clicked at the same time.
Exactly. Dude, I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying that comment for a long time. Man, we're not doing 308. We're in 307.
We got a whole other pay-per-view first.
We're probably going to talk about 308 in like what, 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
It's a quick pay-per-view turn. We got
Grant
Dawson.
We might lose like 4 more fights off that card. We gotta wait. You never know what can happen in a month.
That is true. But we cannot lose Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. The fight of, other than Grant Dawson's or Gillian's, the fight of the rest of the year I'm looking forward to the most. Chandler and Oliveira is a close second. There's some other ones, but Ilia versus Max for the championship, the fight of the end of the year. The fight.
100%, yeah.
So there we go. We just had Chase Sherman, Game Red Bare Knuckle on November 15th. So that's that. We just had Gillian. Chris Duncan's coming in a couple minutes. But guys, I want to play a fun little game with you guys if you're ready.
Let's do it.
Oh, hello, Mr. Dean Toole. How are you, sir?
Hi, Dean.
You can come on anytime and break more news. We're up for it. All
right.
I got 6 welterweights. So the welterweight division's been one of the limelight. Of course, George St. Pierre and Kamaru Usman. And right now we got Bilal Muhammad is the champion right now in the welterweights. We got 6 welterweights that I'm going to say. And a real quick.
Come on, Dean.
Come on down, Dean.
Send him a link. I'll send him a link.
Yeah, Elle, can you send him the link? Elle's going to send you the link, Dean. There you go. Well, we're playing a game, but Elle's
play the game until he gets here. Keep going.
All right. I got 6 names for you. I want you to be honest. Are they going to be UFC welterweight world champion? I'd say yes or no.
Okay.
You guys ready?
All right.
Ready.
Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yes.
Yes.
Michael Moraes.
No.
Okay. Sean Brady.
Ooh.
No. I don't think so.
Not right now. No.
Jack Della Maddalena.
I love him, but no.
Probably not.
Oh. Ian Gary.
No.
And coming on Fight Bananas tomorrow, Brian Battle.
Yes.
Of course. No biases here.
I can't believe, all 4 of those after Shavkat was no. Is Shavkat going to be the champion forever?
No, but there's other guys.
Compared to those guys.
Who?
Not yet, but there might be. Like, you're telling me that there hasn't been a guy that's going to get signed or that's just been signed that isn't going to come up in the next year and a half?
No, that doesn't happen. Other than Alex Pereira, you don't get signed and become a champion in a year and a half. It's like a 5-year.
Who might be in the conversation?
Right. Like, do you think MVP is going to get any closer? Like, I don't know if he's going to be champion, but do you know? No. Okay.
No.
Let's see.
That's not a real question, right, Maddie?
Kevin Holland?
No. These are the guys. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to. These are the next ones.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be. I could see Jack Della Maddalena maybe eventually, but as of right now, no, I don't think so. Same with Sean.
Wow.
They're both like question marks.
With a hot take. Usman's going to win it again?
He could. He absolutely could. If he had a camp or 2 more rounds, he would have beat Khamzat.
I don't disagree with that statement.
100%.
You ready? I don't know if Usman fights for the championship again.
I mean, that'd be kind of fucked. He's number 2.
He's got to win a fight.
Yeah, but if he wins his next fight, that's a title shot.
Dean, we sent you the link. Come on the show and say it.
Yeah, come talk. I did text him. I know I did. I'm gonna check.
Tell me you got the link, Dean. Tell me you got it. We want you on. Chris Duncan's coming in 1 minute though, so you ought to. I got people texting me, but oh wow, this is fun. Either way, gets title shot. Wait. He either gets next title shot of fights one more time immediate time. No, I think he's got to fight one time. Are you ready? I like Kamaru Usman versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Love that fight.
I love that fight.
I think Usman beats him. I think Usman.
I think Usman wins too. So
I think Usman beats almost everybody in that division that isn't named Leon Edwards. I just think that Leon is just a bad matchup for him, or at least was at the time.
Does Usman beat Shavkat Rakhmonov?
I said almost. I said almost everyone.
So is Shavkat the guy?
So. I don't think so. I think
the guy?
Shavkat is the guy.
I think he's the guy for sure.
All right. No, I think he is. He's 18-0 with 18 finishes.
Yeah, nuts.
Like
in a division that
say that out loud.
Have finishes like that, like
yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, that was my welterweight game. I'm kind of shocked that you guys were like Marias, Brady, Jack Della Maddalena, Ian Gary.
I do like Jack Della Maddalena, and I think he has a chance out of most of those people.
But Gilbert was doing very well.
He was.
He got knocked out. And I think there's too many high level grapplers.
That's a good point.
At welterweight, especially now.
You have Shavkat and Bilal and Usman.
And Usman, exactly.
Yeah.
And Colby. Like, I know he only fights every 2 years, but if he actually got in the gym, I'm not saying he will, but if he actually got in the gym and got back to old Colby, like got some real training partners and got back to old Colby, or round 5 Colby against Leon, like if we saw that again, he can beat those guys, but I just don't think he'll do it. I'm saying he could.
Colby Covington is old. He doesn't fight. And I'm not going to say this is respectfully. He's got money. We will never see Colby Covington what he was 4 years ago.
I agree.
He doesn't exist.
I'm saying he's capable of it.
That guy's dead. Colby Covington, the MMA fighter, is dead.
It feels very strongly about this.
R.I.P.
Talking about someone who didn't die. We're talking about someone who had a $50,000 performance bonus. Talking about the problem. He was on our show. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? We're so pumped to have him back on, from UFC Paris winner, the problem, Chris Duncan.
What's up, man?
How we doing? All right?
Chris, what's up, brother? Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I loved that emotional video that was shared when you found out about the 50K. Can you talk about that emotional moment for us?
Well, we went out for some food, so I was in a kebab shop, believe it or not. And when I walked into the kebab shop, they'd actually been playing my fight. So I have a video as well of them watching me fight, and then me standing videoing it, and then they're all cheering when I got my hand raised. And then not long after that, we sat down to have our thing, and we were like trying to figure out if it was a fucking dream or not. So after that, obviously, 50K is life-changing money for my family. So I couldn't hold it back.
What's the plan with the 50K? Like, what are you gonna do with it?
I'll need to invest in it in something.
There you go.
Move the family to Florida, maybe.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Get some sunshine for real. I'm already going pale back here.
I love that. Chris, to me, the ending was really funky. Like, from watching it from afar, he did look out. Like, he actually looked out longer than what I even think maybe you or the ref knew. He was limp for a while. Did you feel it? Did you notice? Of course, it's not your job to stop doing your choke. It was a funky finish. How did it feel to you?
When did you realize he was out?
I didn't realize he was out until I was shouting to the ref. But
really,
I submit a lot of people with that sort of submission in the gym. I've got some moves that I enjoy and some techniques that I enjoy, and I stick with it a lot. And I do catch people now and again with arm and guillotines and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite a position for me that I enjoy. But in the moment, when I pulled full guard, I don't tend to do that unless I think I've got it completely cinched up. I tend to go half guard, because then I can end up sweeping and coming up on top if it's failed. But I went full guard because I thought it was in. And when I was squeezing, I was like, oh my God, this is tight. He's done. And then about 10 seconds in, he hadn't tapped. And I was like, every person I have trained with who I've tapped with this is tapped by now. Why is this guy not tapping? And then he put a little bit of doubt in my head. So I kept squeezing. And then Tiago said to me, he's like, Chris, if it's not on, mate, you need to move on. So then I let go of his head, covered his head so he didn't posture up right away, and then tried to punch, and I was holding onto his head to kind of like hopefully for him to posture up, so then I can get my hands on his shoulders, my feet in his hips, and then start building back to my feet. Then when I took my hand off the back of his head, he didn't posture up. So I thought, right, this guy's resting. I'm going to punch him and get him to move. So I gave him like 2 punches like that. And then in that moment, I realized like the weight on top of me was like just like a dead body. So that's when I knew he was out. So obviously I took him to the bitter end, and he never tapped.
That is crazy.
Dude.
And I'm sorry, girls, you guys have next 5 questions with Chris. The one jumped at me right away. Can you speak to the audience and tell people why Thiago Alves, one of the greats, right? An MMA legend, great coach. Why would he tell you to, move away from it? Because I always hear, and I'm a novice, Chris. They say like you can burn out your arms trying to guillotine someone forever, right? Like, is that why a coach will tell you like, hey, move on to a different attribute?
Yeah, because you can hang on to something and you might think you have it, but this guy might have just a little bit of space within his neck or whatever. So the next move was move on. And I don't tend to hold on to things that I don't have. And I did hang on to this one a bit longer because I did think I had it, because I remember feeling his actual esophagus on my wrist. And I remember feeling his jawline. And it was like I was almost 12 out of 10 set that it was in. And then when he hadn't tapped, I was thinking to myself, God, this guy's tough. Like, why is this guy not tapped? So then that's when I started to move on. And I hold my hands up. Thank fuck he tapped, because when the ref was holding my hands, my arms were super tired. So thank fuck for that.
That's awesome. Well, it paid off, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. In full.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So you've been on the UFC roster for 4 years now, Contender Series back in 2021, and you've just continuously created a name for yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 4 years?
To be honest, I just need to get a couple more fights under my belt. I'm still a baby in the game. I have a lot of things that I need to improve on, and I'm always improving. I don't see why I should never not improve. And I'm just going to take it fight by fight. The goal is now to start attacking that top 10 number. So I just need to continually win fights. And that's the only thing I can do. That's the only job I need to do. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to be doing anything over and above. It's just work hard, train harder, and be more disciplined. So there's a lot of things I've done over the last kind of couple of years, or the last year really, just to be a better athlete. And like this time around, I'm not like last time as well. After I came out of my loss at Mexico, I didn't actually overindulge in food right away. And it's the same this time. I'm going to try and keep my weight down as low as possible, because I'm a really big 155er, and I struggle to make the weight sometimes. I took this fight on 5 weeks' notice, and it was a bit of a struggle. I cut a fair bit of weight. It just is what it is, but we got the job done, and move on to the next one.
You brought up the weight cut, so I have to ask if your experience was at all similar to Brendan Allen or Moicano's. We heard a lot of fighters coming out after Brendan Allen made his big statement about the unfair treatment of some of the foreign fighters. What was your experience in France? I know you didn't fight a French guy, but you did fight a guy who seemed to have more of the crowd on his side. So
yeah. I think I was very lucky that I was at the bottom of the card, so I didn't end up getting all that. But those guys had to sit in the weighing in room and the medical room and finish all their shakes and then wait like 3 hours before they could pee, which is insane.
Oh no.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You're okay.
It's just so I don't miss your interview. I remember them sitting they were down there for like 3 or 4 hours before they could pee. And I think that was extremely unfair. I was very lucky. I kind of seen it happening. I seen them sitting and them kind of arguing. So I did take myself to the side, just kind of hid and didn't really say much, and I got away with it. But the medical team were saying, "Oh, do you want Chris?" And they were like, "No, he's okay to go." I was like, thank fuck for that.
I love it. I love
Your
it.
guy wasn't French enough, so.
Yeah. Wasn't French enough. Was it? To me, mixed martial arts is the most, 1v1. It's, I know golf is by yourself, but there's nothing like being in a cage with another man the same weight, and only one man is going to get their hand raised, and some really horrible shit can happen if you lose, right? Some real stuff. But as a team, American Top Team had a hell of a time over there in France. Guys in the prelims, of course, the main event, Moicano in the same division had a big win. Does it help you? Do you kind of feel a little bit of teamism? How is it you kind of, seems like American Top Team had a great weekend, long story short.
Yeah, definitely. Like we hung about together. We had coffees. We were in the sauna together. It was a good environment to be around. And to be totally honest with you, American Top Team has changed my life completely. It's changed the way I think about MMA. It's changed the way I approach MMA, and I'm very lucky and fortunate to be able to have that team on by my side. So, yeah, it was a fantastic week for us.
Do you have any predictions on Grant Dawson versus Garcia in 10 days?
Submission. Grant round 3 submission. That was what I would put on. If we were allowed to bet, that's what I would put on.
All right.
Okay. I'd prefer round 1. But
yeah.
Me too. So that's the same. Like I was saying to my fiance there just the other day. I was watching my training partner Robert Whiteford fight on PFL. He was the co-main event. He fought Roger Huerta, and not that I don't believe in his skill set, but I'm so nervous for him. Like I just wanted him to do well, and I was shouting at the phone in the middle of a restaurant like a little girl. Like I was screaming, and it's like anybody you're involved with, it's like, especially in fighting, you get a bond with people because you end up fighting each other really in the gym. So you grow a bond with these people. So you really want to see them do well. So that's probably going to be me in 2 weeks' time watching Grant's fight. So
how stressed does your fiance get?
I'm the same way, Chris. With Grant fighting, I'm the same way. I scream like a girl the whole time.
Might as well be in there with them, right?
I know. I kind of am.
I think what it is when we go in there, we're in control, so we don't have the nerves. Whereas you don't have control over anybody else's. So and what you said, my missus, she hates watching it, to be honest. Like when the Contender Series came to film my UFC debut, she was at the in the crowd, but she watched the fight like this. So it was a waste of time for her. But this time around, she was super busy with the 2 kids. She's been running fort back home when I've been away on my holidays at American Top Team, and when my fight was on, she was having to look after the kids and get them ready for dinner, and our friends text her, "Well done, he's won," and then she's like, "Oh, thank God."
Sometimes that's better. It's like, oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I love it. Well, we love our fans. We got good comments about you, Chris, and a couple of good questions. Then we'll let you run, my man. They go, "Nice choke for the victory. Nice shiner." We got another one. "Unreal fight, Chris. Great restraint on the finish."
This guy right was from my girlfriend when I got home.
Oh, come on.
They go, "Ask Chris that post in the haters DMs were spot on fire. Tell Chris."
Yeah, for sure. Fuck them. That's all I've got to say.
That's awesome.
I love it. Our guy Dawson goes, "With a finish like that, how soon do you want to be back in the cage?"
Well, to be honest, I've got my sister's wedding in February, so that would be something that I would need to. That's probably the only thing I'll need to kind of plan for. So maybe early Christmas, like maybe December, or maybe get Christmas out the road and fight just before my sister's wedding. But I've not even thought about it yet. I've spent a lot of time, and I went through a bit of a rough patch. Like I had to go back to work there for a little bit, so I was a bit fucking pissed off about that. And then I had to just up and leave my family. So I think probably when I get my son's passport in the post this week, we're gonna go and book a holiday. We're going to enjoy a holiday, and I'm not going to think about fighting, and I'm not going to watch videos about fighting. I'm just going to turn my phone off or turn my notifications off on my phone and just dial into the family time, and then we'll start thinking about it then. But from now until then, I'm just going to zone out, because previously, you know, I'm always desperate to get in and go in and do it again. And I'm trying to take leaves out of other people's book, like my friend Robert Whiteford, you know, as soon as he's done training, he's had his fight, he takes about a week and a half off. So I've not done that. I was back training today, but it's just, I enjoy training. That's not the big thing. It's more about the fighting. And to be totally honest with you, having that 50k in the oncoming, you know, it's going to be coming into my bank is a little nest egg for me, though. I'll never need to worry about money for a long time. You know, it's like
it's a nice cushion.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a big spender. I'll not go out and buy stupid stuff. I'll probably invest my money. And I'll
just get a little something for the missus. Just a little.
Well, I've already said, but she doesn't want it, so I think we'll just maybe do something on holiday or do an extra wee, like if we go on holiday for 7 days and we come back, we could maybe go to Disneyland or we could do something like that.
There we go. Now we're talking.
So we'll see. She'll get something.
I love it, man. So pumped. Hey, we're big fans of you, Chris, from afar. And then we appreciate the last 3 weeks you came on the show. Very happy for you and your success. And man, we'll talk soon, brother. Cannot wait.
No, thank you. Thanks for having us, guys. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Chris.
Later, Chris.
See you guys.
Chris
Bye.
Duncan, the
Bye.
problem.
Bye.
There we go. Man, what a stud. What an absolute stud.
Dawson said, can't have wedding photos with shiners.
Yeah, no.
Our best man at Grant and my wedding had a bare knuckle fight like a week before our wedding and looked absolutely decimated in our wedding photo.
But I mean, hey, that's right on brand.
Oh, 100%. Grant had a fight right before too, and thank goodness nothing on the face. He was all good. All good. No stitches in our wedding photos.
I'm going to be a nervous wreck for the next 6 weeks. We got Grant fighting. We got Gillian fighting. Dude, I'm telling you. Like, people don't understand.
Elle fighting, hopefully.
That's not for a while.
Yeah.
But plenty of time before we have to be nervous about that.
I think it's weird. I thought about that. I think I would be the most nervous because there's a guy thing. Me and Grant are bros. So it's like, you know, you're allowed to. If Grant gets punched, I would be like, Grant's tough. He's going to go right through him. Like, and by the way, I got Grant via first round TKO. I think Grant's going to do more of the ground and pound this time. That's my call. Calling it right now. First round TKO. But back to what you were saying, Maddie, with Elle, dude, I will be a nervous freaking wreck. Like, Elle's a little sister of mine. Like, I can't see her get punched. I will lose my shit.
Well, hopefully you won't have to. Hopefully I won't get hit at all. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Dude,
in an ideal world, she shoots for the takedown, gets it done, and that's it.
First round sub.
Listen, why can't you Jorge Masvidal your opponent and win in 4 seconds with a flying knee?
You have a lot of faith in my flying knees. If you want a fast finish, a early takedown is probably in my future.
That's great.
There we go. I will be a nervous wreck. I can't. All right. 140. We got 10 minutes left. Anyone else? I had one more game, I think, for you guys. Actually, Elle, because we talked about in the first hour, where are you at on 307 in the main event? Alex Roundtree, any funky stuff can happen, or is Pereira the guy right now?
I think Pereira will win. That is my pick. However, I think that Roundtree is being heavily disrespected. I think this is going to be a closer fight than a lot of people do. I think Roundtree's always been underrated constantly. Like, his style, the length, Alex Pereira's power, all real things, but Roundtree has maybe not as much length, but he has a ton of power and fantastic kickboxing as well.
Elle, I got a question for you. Then after that, Maddie, take it away. I know you got 2 great questions are in there in our notes. Peel back the headline. So let's do that next. Elle, my one question though for you, my Roundtree shade. Name me 2 good wins that he has.
2 good wins?
Yeah. This man's fighting for the world championship. Give me 2 wins.
All right, hang on. Let's pull up his best ones. No, we're gonna pull it up. We gotta make sure we have the source, right?
Usually,
okay,
you would know off the top of your head.
Here is my issue. This is light heavyweight. Okay, so it's super hard. A lot of people get title shots off not great wins, and a lot of people get title shots off of beating Anthony Smith. and he beat Anthony Smith, which is the normal prerequisite to get a shot at the belt at 205.
But this isn't 2020 Anthony Smith. This was just 8 months ago.
But it's not his fault. He was supposed to fight Jamal Hill. I think he would have beat Jamal Hill.
But what happened? Why didn't he fight?
That was the issue with the drug testing. However, once again, not his fault. Not his fault. That is, we know for a fact that's not his fault. That has been dealt with. He has passed several clean drug tests. I'm just saying it's not his fault. Like, it's not his fault that he was supposed to fight Azamat Murzakanov. That would have been a really good win. But Murzakanov had to pull out because he got sick. Like, he has tough fights that should have happened on his resume. They just didn't happen. Like, it's hard.
This is MMA. Anything can happen, and anything can happen in the higher weights. I totally agree.
I'm not saying I think he'll win.
Horrible challenger for the championship. Horrendous.
How?
Your big win is Anthony Smith. What's his second biggest win? I'm telling
you, it's light heavyweight. There aren't very many. There are no big wins. I don't even think Jamal Hill's a very big win. Like, I'm telling you, it's that weight class. Who else should be getting the title shot, in your opinion?
Ankalaev.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Okay.
That should be the fight.
He's out. Who that is actually able to take a fight right now should get the title shot?
Glover Teixeira.
The retired guy?
That would be a better fight.
I'm not saying it's the best matchup that's ever happened, but I'm saying it makes more sense than people are saying. What makes more sense? It is one of the worst
challengers for a championship of all time.
But I love what Pereira said, though. I love what he said about it. How he was like, they gave me a chance when I started. They let me jump the ranks. I have to respect it for Khalil. You know, like, I like Pereira's just kind of like, I get it, you know?
The reason it's happening is because they need a main event, and Alex Pereira has always been that guy. He didn't always have the belt when he was that guy, so they didn't always have to worry about it being a title fight. But if you look at the rankings, Ankalaev's out. Yuri just lost.
Okay. Keep going.
Jamal Hill is out, probably forever. He can't stay healthy. The only one Jan Blachowicz is booked, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I was gonna.
He's out as well.
Well, he just fought Pereira, so.
Oh yeah,
he lost like a split decision. That was a good fight.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset with that rematch, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe he didn't want the fight. Maybe Rakic, then we have Rakic and we have Volkan Ozdemir. Yeah. And then we have Nikita Krylov, who we haven't seen fight in a million years. Like, I'm just saying, if you really look at it, it probably was their only option. Is it the best title? Is it the most sensical, perfect title matchup of all time? Of course not. That doesn't mean it doesn't make sense here.
All right, Maddie.
Khalil's going to lose this fight, okay? He's going to lose this fight. I just think he's being a little disrespected. That's all.
I think it's safe to say that he's a skilled fighter, but he's not going to beat Alex Pereira.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And I actually like Roundtree. He's really good. I just don't. The merit for him getting a title. Moyo Kano has done more to get a title shot, and he's ranked 11th.
Mm-hmm. But different weight classes. Lightweight, there's a million contenders. There is a need for contenders at 205, and there always will be. It's always been like that. I'm just saying. Sean's right. Everybody said that about Matt Serra, and he upset GSP.
And he can do it. I'm not saying he does, but my point, I guess my argument, my rub the wrong way is he doesn't deserve the opportunity to get this upset. Like, he shouldn't be next. He shouldn't.
Maybe you're right, but if they needed a fight and he stepped up, like why are we mad at the guy? Be mad. Like,
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Roundtree. I'm not mad at him.
Okay. So Dave's not hating on Khalil.
I'm not hating on Khalil. I'm hating on the
choice.
The choice.
I'm just saying, there aren't a lot of great choices. You'd be upset if it was Nikita Krylov and he's one above Khalil. Like,
I would have rather seen a Blachowicz rematch than this one.
Me too.
I agree. Too. I will agree with that. I'm assuming that probably couldn't happen.
I'd rather see
that would make sense.
I'd rather see Tom Aspinall cut weight to 205. Okay. I'd rather see Chuck Liddell come back. I'd rather see John Jones. Like Roundtree. All right. I'm done.
We need to make Dave do a weight cut sometime. That should be like a podcast, is like putting Dave through, not like you don't have to fight. Just like put.
We're almost at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Maybe we make Dave do something.
Ooh. And it'll be exclusive on YouTube. We'll do a weight cut vlog for Dave.
Just
we'll
saying.
Get Dave into fight shape.
What would be my fighting weight?
What do you
weigh right now?
198.
I bet
170 all day.
Yeah, 170.
170
I'm 40
all
years
day.
old with 4 kids. I'm never gonna weigh 170.
You can do it. No, you 100. If you like did like really dieted, you could make 170. Because remember, some of the weight you cut is water weight. You're not dieting to 170. You're dieting to like 185, maybe a little lower, and then you cut the water. If I can cut almost 10 pounds of water, you can definitely cut.
So cutting 10 pounds of water, I think 185. I'll do 185.
That's not even a cut. That's just a normal diet.
All right. I don't know how I got on this. Can
Dave's
I say
a
my
welterweight, guys? We need a vote in the comment section. Is Dave a middleweight or a welterweight?
I'm 6 foot.
Dave is a dad of 4.
Yeah,
how about
that's
that?
A normal welterweight height right there. Dave is a dad, is what Dave is.
Dave's just a dad.
I'm just saying, 185. We do a cut to 185. Would you do that?
I would do a cut to 185.
We could do, that'd be fun. Do a Dave weight cut.
Jesus.
Middleweight Dave. 155 Dave would be right.
Or for the YouTube video, we just send him through what a typical 24 hours looks like the day before weigh-ins. So you start, like you go in the sauna, you get wrapped like a burrito.
You gotta do the water load. If he doesn't do the water load and the sodium cut, then he doesn't see
I would do that. I would do that of like, hey Dave, you got to lose 15 pounds in 24 hours of like.
Let's give you 24 hours and see how much you lose.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
I would do that.
We should definitely do this on the YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Sean's calling you out. He said, I didn't hear you say this. You said you'd rather see Chuck Liddell than Roundtree.
That's what he said it.
Yeah. Chuck versus Alex would be awesome. Great.
Like the Chuck that exists right now in our universe. That Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, fuck it.
Better than seeing Roundtree.
Sean's right. Dave's too small for middleweight. Welterweight Dave.
This is unreal.
Welterweight.
Game bred bare knuckle debut, Dave, or what?
No. I talk for a living.
He has to keep his
decent money talking. Yeah. I would do a Island Fights boxing match.
Perfect. Dawson. Yes. Dawson, 100%. Come to help shoot this content. We're going to do a Dave weight cut. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have his boxing debut on Island Fights.
So
when is Island Fights?
Ben Davis.
Different time.
When is Island Fights, Dave?
I would smash Ben Davis, okay?
Yes, you would.
That little weasel has 0 chance against me, okay?
Wow.
You and Ben Davis trying to talk smack to each other would be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Dude.
I've ate chicken wings that was tougher than Ben Davis, okay?
I like it. When is Island Fights, Dave?
Are you I guess we're not doing the headlines. We got a minute left.
I was gonna say
Island Fights is October 25th.
October
Nice.
25th.
Yeah.
Maddie, do your headlines.
We don't have time.
Sorry,
It's
guys.
all good.
Are you is any of you guys coming to Island Fights?
I will not be.
I would love to. Let them know I'm available.
Okay. All right.
I'm there if he needs me. Just wanted to give a shout out one more time to Workout Wipes and what they're doing for the hurricane relief efforts. So North Carolina smacked by Hurricane Helene, and I didn't realize this, but Workout Wipes is actually a North Carolina company. So they've donated over 5,000 packs of their shower wipes for hurricane relief. And on top of that, for the next 10 days, every pack that you buy is going to be matched with a donation by them. So huge shout out to them. Love companies that make a difference when they can. So if you've ever been curious about Wow Wipes, now is the time to get them because they're going to donate a portion as well. So shout out to Wow Wipes.
Shout out.
Yes. And like for real, making a big difference because not having fresh water, not being able to shower is just the worst. So
And they actually work. Like the Wow Wipes they're huge.
I've already
they
used them
smell
twice.
good and they actually work. So that's that.
What, Dave?
Why did you use it twice?
Because I trained twice.
You trained twice today?
Kind of. I got sweaty twice. Okay.
What was the first time?
I genuinely probably go through a pack of Wow Wipes like almost every week. Like I use them at least twice a day.
That's amazing. No, Wow Wipes is awesome, guys. Go to wowwipes.com and I was being funny a lot for the end of the show there, but like, no, we talked about it off air, and the hurricane is just absolutely no joke. It is horrific. And sometimes it's not even it's the aftermath. It's not even like the storm itself the day of, or a wind or a tree falls on a car.
It's the rebuild.
If you go out, guys, we as a family at our house in the Van Aukens, we don't go an hour or two without a kid using a tablet, a phone, a TV, a Disney Plus, a Netflix, a streaming, to have no power, no water, no lights. It is so hard on so many families. So I'm not even, it's real stuff. So shout out to Wild Wipes, honestly, really. But that's it. We went over 2 hours. Guys, Gillian the Savage Robertson, appreciate her. Chase Sherman was an absolute monster today. Dude, I was not picking Mo Green. I was just saying Mo's next. Chase won the fight.
That was hilarious.
Right there. I did not like that.
He was already ready to fight you.
Dude, Chris Duncan, absolute stud. Show twice in 3 weeks. Moyakano got a big win. Guys, 307, enjoy. Tomorrow night, I'll be live with Rafael Esparza. We're doing Ben and Bananas. Brian Battle will be on tomorrow. Saturday night, UFC 307 live show here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm working a lot, okay? I'm working. So come through. Subscribe to the new YouTube channel. We're giving out all these cards. Dude, I sent out 104 UFC cards last week on the YouTube channel. I might do it again Saturday, sending out Chimaevs, McGregor's, O'Malley's. Don't matter. Whoever you want. We got cards in-house. Me and Grant are doing another card break very soon, by the way.
Ooh, he loves that. He loves the card breaks with you.
Maybe next week. Next week, that's his last week here, right?
We leave Tuesday. Next Tuesday. So I will not be here next Tuesday, guys. It will be just Maddie and Dave. I will be on a plane to Vegas.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Imagine if Fight Bananas got media credentials for that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. We're out. See everyone later. Maddie, you're the best. Killer show today, by the way, Maddie.
Great show, guys. I
Love
always
having
do.
Maddie on for a full 2 hours. Love it.
Dude, I know. We need more
Can't get rid of
Maddie Levine. We want more Maddie. More Maddie. Elle.
I just saw this. I'll have Dave say a pick for you on the show tomorrow. I will do that. I will give Dave a pick. Maybe I'll write an article on it. I will post it.
There we go. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys. See everyone next time. Later.
See ya.
I'm pushing the button.
Yeah, you push
over.
Push the button.